Hello, and welcome to the Awful and Awesome Entertainment Wrap. I'm Nainika, and we have a very special erudite guest here today with us.
Well, you're really setting them up to be disappointed. But hi, everyone. This is Jayashree.
Yes, you'd know Jayashree from Hafta. You've been listening to her there, but today she was kind enough to join us here on as an art and pop culture critique, and I'm very excited to hear what she has to say. We've watched a bunch of, I will say, interesting. I will not pass comment on whether they're awful or awesome already. So we watched a bunch of interesting stuff for this episode, and I am waiting to talk to Jayashree about this. Before we begin, 5 states, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Telangana, and Mizoram, are headed towards assembly polls, and News Laundry will be covering these elections together with the News Minute to bring you everything you need to know. Reporters and producers from News Laundry and the News Minute will hit the ground to find the answers to important questions. Another election show will return, featuring Dhanya, Manisha, and Atul in the election states. Together, we'll bring you reports, analysis, interviews, videos, and podcasts, all from the ground. Not crafted in far off studios. This is independent, ad free reportage, and you can help us make it happen. Our ambitious plan can become a reality only if you, our subscribers, step up and contribute. Contribute now on newslaundry.com/election fund. We're stronger together and we're even stronger with you. So, Jayashree, do you want to begin with the thank you for coming?
So I will admit that I was already sort of predisposed to dislike the movie because I saw the headlines and all the sort of hoo-ha before it even came out. I think there were all those visuals of the 4 lead actors. They went to Parliament for the women's bill. I think it was Bhumi, Shehnaz Gill, Dolly Singh, and the fourth one. Who's the fourth one?
Shibani
someone.
Bedi, yeah. Or Kusha
Yeah,
Kapila,
and
I
then
don't
they
know
all
either of them.
tweeted and posted saying, "Oh, Anurag," posted with like pictures with Anurag Thakur. "Thank you, Modi. India is so safe." And I was like, being a bit of an asshole, so I feel like I won't like it very much. But then I thought, no, this is my debut on Awful and Awesome. I will make a real effort. I will do my homework. So I did sit down. I did try to watch it. I promise you, I gave it a good shot. But I walked out after about I want to say an hour, but it might have been 45 minutes. So that is where I stand with it.
That is interesting because I walked into the movie 45 minutes after it had begun. So,
Great. So together we
you
are
and I
one
together,
solid
we
movie.
watched the full thing.
Yeah, and isn't that what's important?
Yes, absolutely. So I watched it for I did not know that it was even like coming around. I think I maybe have seen a YouTube ad or something about the movie releasing, and
Yeah.
I was like, I presumed it was like a web series at first because it had all your like your Instagram influencer adjacent people. So I just presumed it was going to be. I did not know it was for the theaters. I made an impulse decision to watch it. It was me and another friend, and the two of us walked into like walls into the theater really, really late. And then it took us like a minute to piece it together, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. It was just like, oh, it's a woman. She's having a crisis of singlehood and she decides to, I don't know, get married off the fly to some random person and a bunch of hijinks follow because she's clearly described as like a train wreck. Like the characterization is very much, single woman post 30 or something like that. Basically, you're an alcoholic and you have loose morals and you indulge in sexually irresponsible behavior, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, and I think her entire aim was that she wanted to find sexual satisfaction. Right?
Yes,
that was
yes.
the thing that really drove her.
Yes. So she's driven by the fact that she wants to, sexually arrive at whatever her metric of success is. And the thing I was shocked, like after the movie was done, the movie was whatever. The entire time I was watching it, I presumed it was like a female director because it's a very it's
Female type of
women.
movie, yeah.
Yeah, like it's the kind of movie like a female director would make. And one of the side plots is like this really young girl, she's in high school, and I think somebody like releases like a video of her engaging in some sort of sexual act, and it causes her a lot of like social grievances. And it was like one of those subjects that you'd want to handle very sensitively with maybe like, I don't know, a female director present or something. And then when I figured out it was like Karan Bulani is the director, I was like, that is
Yeah.
what? Yeah, it took me a minute to comprehend.
Yeah, the thing for me is that so again, I only watched about an hour of it, and I will be really honest that my Hindi is terrible, like so bad. But this was a very easy movie for me to watch anyway, because
Right.
even if I was missing witty dialogue or whatever,
It didn't
the
make a lot of
context clues
difference. Yeah.
sort of. I mean, I don't know if there was witty dialogue. I assume there was because my audience was giggling a bit. But my thing with it was that
Up next, we're going to discuss 2018, Everyone is a Hero. Directed by Jude Anthony Joseph, this Malayalam survival drama is based on the severe 2018 floods that devastated Kerala. It grossed over 2 billion rupees, which is about US $25 million at the box office, to emerge as the highest grossing Malayalam film of all time and one of the highest grossing Indian films of 2023. It has been chosen as India's official entry for the 96th Academy Awards.
Yeah, so I watched it in the theater when it came out in May.
Right.
So I had a little bit refresh my memory about it. So yes, so I think there are two kinds of audiences for this movie. So the first is the audience that is familiar with the 2018 Kerala floods or has a very personal connection to it. And the second is those who do not. So I fell into the first bracket because so my husband is Malayali. So during the floods, it was July, August, we're in Chennai. So what I remember about that time is that he was constantly making phone calls, updating spreadsheets. They were trying to organize resources.
Right.
They had a website running. So it was a lot of like community effort by Malayalis across the globe trying to sort of help people back home. So I think so the movie for me sort of captured that spirit because we were going into it with that sort of memory of trauma and of loved ones who lived in the state. So in that way it sort of worked. So it's basically the story of the 2018 floods told from start to finish through various characters. So you have Tomino Thomas, who's an ex-soldier who's returned back home.
Right.
You have Kunchaku Bobbin, who works for the revenue department. You have Vineet Srinivasan, who's this guy in Dubai who wants to come back home and see what's going on because his family is there. He's also got some issues with his wife. You have this fisherman called Lal, played by Lal, who's also very good. You have a son who has turned away from being a fisherman because he's too good for this. But at the end of the day, it's like how all these people sort of come back to try and pull together and see what happens. So this is the good. Like it captured that sort of grief, that anger.
Right.
It the special effects were great. So the problem was that there is also a lot of cringe. Like a lot of it was very heavy-handed. So I read this really good review of it, which said, so the thing is, the approach to 2018 is like a Hollywood disaster movie,
right,
rather than what we expect from New Age Malayalam cinema, which is like, very slice of life, very nuanced, very subtle. So it was really like throwing it in your face. Like after a point, it was a lot. Like you had some clueless white tourists who were running around trying to vlog it. You had this, really melodramatic ending, which I will not give away. And, relentless sort of characters just in various throes of sorrow and agony. And you're a little bit like, we should take a step back. That said,
I think that I've heard like some chatter on Twitter about how people are contesting that it's been made the official entry for Oscars. What is your take on that? Do you think it's deserved?
So I too was wondering, and I was like, okay, let me look back and see like what other official entries India has had. And my God, there have been some horror shows that India has sent. So, for example, Barfi was a very bad movie.
Yes,
like, it was not.
Correct.
It was not good. Devdas was not great. Then also, I think to me the most shocking is, I don't know if you guys have heard of this movie called Jeans. It's a Tamil movie.
Yes, I have. Yes.
Oh my God! So I think it came out in 98.
Yes.
So Jeans is the story of twins played by Prashant, who falls in love with Aishwarya Rai.
I watched this very recently, so it's like really fresh in my memory.
So right? Like Jeans is objectively not a stellar
Oscar
movie,
material,
but,
yes.
Yeah, but when I watched it at the time, I was blown away. Like
right.
I thought, this is the most romantic thing I've seen in my life. But in my defense, I was 11.
Right.
The people
Correct.
who sent it to the Oscars that year were not 11 years old.
Right.
So they had no excuse.
When I started like doing Awful and Awesome, I really realized that there's like a lot of trash that you do not get to hear about or see.
And do you feel like you used to have a higher tolerance for trash? Like
yes.
binge watching and things, but now I just can't. Like,
it's just not there anymore. Which is good, I suppose. Like attention economy is already pretty divided and we don't need to add more things to that mix.
Yeah. Also, we have way too many options of things to watch now, so we don't really need to like suffer through.
I think like one section of like your OTT cinema is just relegated to like the space that your B movies or C movies occupied in the cultural zeitgeist. Like you had those shady theaters where it always was playing some really weird soft porn / horror / murder. I do not know, like that kind of stuff.
We call them blue films.
Yeah. So that kind of stuff is like now on your OTT platforms all the time.
Yeah.
So
I will admit though, I did watch that Malaika show recently. It's on Hotstar and it was terrible.
She's doing some talk show, right?
Life.
Oh, right. That's interesting.
Moving in with Malaika?
That's nice. I too wish I was pretty enough to just monetize my dating life, but unfortunately.
Yeah. Sadly, here we are.
We'll be moving on to the audio section of the podcast, and we'll be discussing the Netflix series Fall of the House of Usher and a stand-up comic show by Abhishek Upmanyu called Jealous of Sabziwala. And also an ad by MakeMyTrip, which was made on their India versus Pakistan match. So please tune in to listen to the rest of the episode.
Journalism at News Laundry is powered by the public, because when the public pays, the public is served. Visit newslaundry.com/subscription and pick a payment plan of your choice. Pay to keep news free and independent. Your future, and indeed the future of democracy, depends on it.